So, if you're anything like me, you are curious about what's going on with the gender gap in tech. We hear a lot about it all the time, but is anything happening? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Today, we're going to dive into that a little bit. We're going to look at what's going on in 2020 and what we can do to make it better. So, where are we at today? I did some digging, found some interesting statistics, and what it looks like is out of all job positions in the tech industry, only 25% of them are currently being held by women. This is compared to the 50% of all jobs being currently held by women in the entire workforce. So, not a great number, trending a little bit behind and probably not making as much headway as most had hoped. I was also able to find some specifics through some self-reporting on some of the major tech companies that we are all familiar with. So one tech company has 28% of their workforce is female. Can you guess who that is? That would be Microsoft. Another company has 42%, so much closer to that 50%. This would be Amazon. Do those numbers surprise you? Another interesting statistic that I found was that 26.5% of leadership positions in S&P 500 companies are held by women. This stat is very similar across the board in most tech companies as well. So when it comes to leadership positions, there is some encouraging things happening there. So how did we get here? 25%, does that surprise you? That seems awfully low to me. And one thing that my research is showing is that we're actually losing women in this industry since what was happening in the 1980s. Less are going through the process to be certified and educated for a tech role, and more are leaving the industry once they do. Part of that is a lack of mentors, a lack of role models in the industry to partner with. There is still a gender bias out there, as well as unequal pay and unequal growth opportunities compared to their male counterparts. So here's the important piece. What can you and what can your company do to help close the gender gap? Let's start with having some honest conversations. These are hard. They can be tough. But it's a great way to assess where you at. You may have to start with just peers until you get comfortable to bringing these conversations to your leadership or to HR. But how well is your company doing with recruiting females and keeping females? Are there gender bias or other issues going on? These honest conversations will allow you to start making a path to do better. Develop an internal resource group that's for women, to support women and to help them advance their careers and the equality within the company itself. I've had the pleasure of being a part of one of these, and we do everything from just happy hours to get to know each other, to bringing in speakers, to setting up mentorship programs, which is another thing that can be done. Meet weekly with your mentor. My mentor was someone that helped me set both professional and personal goals and helped me to advance over the weekly meetings we did for about 6 to 8 months. Meet with your HR team to revamp some of your job descriptions. Oftentimes, we use language in job descriptions that are biased to one gender or another without even knowing. This is a good opportunity to reevaluate these and adjust as needed. Get involved with the community. The community has resources, especially around STEM programs, to help encourage young ladies out there. This is another great time that if your company isn't large enough to do a resource group or have a mentorship program, that you can get involved with the community and do the same. As there's both of those going on, look at LinkedIn. You'll find a few things there. And last but not least, provide some internships. Bring in some high school or college females that can come in and start getting some real-world experience within your company. Quick recap. Here's where we're at today. 25% of all positions in the tech company are held by women. Too low. We can do better. Some companies are doing a better job than others, but there's valuable ways that we can make a change. They include honest conversations, about ways to improve, resource groups, mentorship programs, revamping job descriptions, community involvement, and internships. This will be the best way for us all to support each other and make a difference in this gender gap. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned something. I want to hear more about what you know and what you're doing, so please share, provide some feedback. Put it in the comments, and subscribe.